Today is Sunday, June 22nd, and this is your farm garden tour. And we're looking in a different perspective here. I've got a dog's butt right there. But over here, the old saying is knee high by the 4th of July. And we are knee high by the 22nd of June. Whoop whoop. Corn is looking good. Still a little spotty in some areas and definitely needs some attention as far as weeding. But that time of year is coming. Now that we have everything in the ground, all that's left to do at this point is, number one, take a breath because it's been 100 miles an hour for the last 3 months, it seems, all in garden prep and gardening. So that, and then, of course, maintain and take care of what we have out here in the garden. So yeah, there's the corn. She's doing pretty good. I do want to show you the potatoes because I think the potatoes are pretty impressive this year. Put them at the far north end of the garden. So far, the bleepity bleeps have not found them.
We did find one today in the tomatoes.
We did. The tomatoes are on the exact opposite end of the garden. And we did find one while we were in the soil up there. And he is no longer. But we're not finding any on the potatoes. So that is a good thing. It's a good sign. Oh, look what else we got here.
Oh, we got flowers
starting to bloom.
Which means we can start stealing the potatoes.
Yeah, we're coming up on the time where we can start stealing potatoes. So again, this needs to be weeded as well. But, and there are areas where it looks quite spotty. But what we're seeing are some potatoes are just starting to break through the ground. So it could fill out within the next 4 to 6 weeks.
I think this one is just coming in.
So we got a nice bushy one that's 12 to 18 inches tall right there. And then we got this guy who's probably only been above the ground for a week, maybe. So they're all looking good.
And I'm seeing lots of predator insects in here, so.
Yeah, it's good. We're gonna keep an eye on them. These are all German butterball. They are a yellowish potato. Excuse me. Our family's favorite. They're very creamy. So if you mash them, or even if you were to use them as a baked potato, you don't have to put a whole lot of butter on them, like you would a russet. But
yeah, you don't have to use butter on crab either.
And that's true. So it's good stuff. Those are good potatoes. Hopefully they continue to come along the way they are, and be really happy if we didn't have to fight critters on them this year. But it is what it is. And speaking of it is what it is, check out these beans. So this is our little patch of Maxabel. The Maxabel are the ones with the green stalks. They are more of a French string bean, so they're going to be really skinny. And I'm excited to have some of those for fresh eating as well as for canning. And then we've got our Royal Burgundy, and we're noticing here in the Royal Burgundy that we're starting to get blooms there too, which means that it's going to start setting on pods, and we're going to start getting green beans. And it's going to come fast and furious. But there's a couple pantries that need to be filled, and
More than a couple.
a lot of fresh eating. So here we have some onions, Gladstone onions. These were transplanted a week ago. And over here we have some lemongrass. I think we've got 6 lemongrass on either side. We have some sweet marjoram, and we have some thyme, and we have some zinnias because we just had holes in the tarp that needed something in them. Here's some more onions. And in these next 7 holes on either side, just starting to come up, is some chamomile. So I'd like to have some fresh and some dried chamomile for teas. We'll see how that goes. This is English lavender. I've never really been able to get it to do anything, so we're giving it another shot. We've got rosemary.
have lavender at our place?
We tried, but I never really got it to do anything. That's oregano. This is Magnus Lavage. And these are borage. Borage puts on really pretty flowers, and they are edible. They're a little furry, but they're just pretty, and they attract pollinators in the garden, and that is a good thing. So here we have two different kinds of beets. Chioggia, these, if you cut them in half, kind of look like a bullseye. They have red and white striping in their cross section. These are Detroit Dark Red. There's a few just beginning to break the surface there. And then down here at the end, we have a few straggler brassicas. This is Catskill Brussels sprouts. And then I had some dill that I'd started, so I threw in some dill. I was not sure if the dill was going to do anything because it was really tiny when I put it in the ground. So I bought a dill, which looked much bigger and much healthier from the store. So we should have some dill. That'll be a good thing because when we get over to the cucumbers, you'll see that we'll probably need some dill this year. These are also borage plants that are taking off really nicely. I can't wait until those bloom. I've never had one in the garden that's actually done well enough to bloom. So down here, we have our peppers. And this is crazy. We have a pepper already. We have 2 peppers already. And these are, the name is washed out on the tag, which I said I wasn't going to do this year, but it happened in a few instances. So this is an early summer pepper. This is the longest name ever given to a pepper in the history of man. Candy cane chocolate cherry. Those are nice and sweet. And then we get into more brassicas. These, I believe, are... Nope, those are Brussels sprouts also. I was thinking they were broccoli because they were taking off really nicely. And then in here, there's not a whole lot to see. There's some carrots that are just starting to poke up. But yeah, I would say I'm very happy with the brassicas. These transplanted really well. They've all put on a lot of growth. So yeah, it's going in the right direction for the brassicas. They do really well in cool weather, which we've had off and on. It seems that we're either in the 60s during the day and 50s overnight up here at the farm, or it's 90 during the day and 70 at night. And very little to get you used to that change from one day to the next. This is a red express cabbage. Again, looks really nice and healthy. I'm happy. And these are some more Royal Burgundy beets. All right, here's probably the biggest story of the week. Planted vines before we left last weekend. And when I came up a little early because we threw a little surprise birthday party for my Aunt Diane. Happy birthday, Aunt Diane. And so I was here on Wednesday night. And I checked Thursday morning, and I think there were only about 2 holes in this entire area that had anything poking through the ground. And now, much to our delight, we have blacktail watermelon. And we have 2 more hills of the blacktail watermelon. We come over here. We've got blueprint squash. Those guys look like they're just very happy to be above ground. They look nice and healthy.
Well, those broke ground on Friday during the day.
Right.
And that's sundown.
Yep. And we have Halona cantaloupe. We had really good, decent luck with growing these last year. They're the tastiest cantaloupe I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Nice.
think it may have had a lot to do with the fact that there's vine ripened. But
Yeah, could be. There's some more Halona cantaloupe. Just got dive bombed by a fly. I think this might be another Halona, isn't it?
Yeah, we all liked it that much that we decided we were going to plant that much of it this year.
Yeah. Then over here, we have a golden zucchini. And there was already a hole there, so I just put some zinnias in. And over here we have another zucchini. This one is a gray zucchini. Over here, this entire row is zinnias, just because the holes were there. I didn't really want to put vines there because I didn't want to continue to have to dig them out of these brassicas. So I put flowers in, because why the F not? This is honeydew melon. Again, nothing there on Thursday. That is a Duke. These are super nectar.
Is that the one that we grew last year? The cantaloupe looking one that we grew last year?
No.
Or the green one that we grew last year?
No, because those I found out were only supposed to be about baseball size. And that's just a disappointing melon right there.
Yeah, but they was the only honeydew that I've ever had that I actually liked.
Mm,
It tasted like something.
yeah. These butternut.
These
Guys just look great.
Yeah. Those were up on Friday when I got here. It's the next one, the acorns, that did not come up until midday Saturday.
Yeah. So these have been up for about 24 hours.
Yeah.
And they're happy and appear to be healthy.
Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt that it was 90 degrees the other day and like 90% humidity.
Exactly. We have a volunteer sunflower here. Looks like the other one's got mowed, but that's okay.
Yeah, sorry I did that.
That's all right. So brassicas here. These, you don't see their tags. That's a white borage, yeah. That's Red Express cabbage.
Mm.
So we have two different things that are labeled Red Express cabbage. One appears very reddish purple like that, and the other one looks green like these do. So I don't know if there was a mislabeling, if I screwed up, if the seed packet company screwed up. We'll see.
Yeah, because that one coming up looks like a red one too.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's mystery. So, yeah, that one says it's Stonehead. I don't think that's Stonehead.
No, that definitely looks like a red. Yeah.
So yeah, these are little cabbage dudes, and I'm really happy with how they look. So that goes on, and this is a megaton cabbage. We have 4 megaton cabbages this year, and hopefully they have enough room because they grow basketball-size cabbage heads, I should say. We got a marigold, some zinnias, and then our celery. And celery has been doing really well. They were kind of peaked when I put them in, but they're taking off. They look like they found something they like. And pole beans. So green beans, but they grow up this fence rather than the bush beans that we had on the other end of the garden. Looks like we're getting mighty close to having some blooms on these guys too, but they're going to just shoot up this fence. Something crazy. So this is kind of an exciting time. We go home for Monday through Friday, come back up, and the beans are 3 feet taller than they were when we left. Just gonna swing around here. These are shell peas, so peas that you would grow, take out of their shell, and then eat, like every kid's nightmare.
No, these ones you can eat in the shell as well.
Yeah. Usually they're better to do that with if they're young.
Yeah.
Check this out. We do have a bloom.
Yep.
There we go.
Yeah,
that's going to be a
that
pod
whole thing.
in a couple of weeks. And Duke is really excited because that's one of his favorite snacks.
I know, he can smell them already.
You little jerk. So yeah, peas. I mean, these look a little spotty, but I think they look a little spotty because the row behind it looks so darn robust.
We are definitely going to have snow peas.
Yes, snow peas. That's what these are. Super tasty to eat raw, great to have in stir fries, etc. So these guys are thick and they're growing tall, and Duke is looking for his next snack. So that's the way it goes. He'll graze through the peas, Doesn't really like the beans, but he'll go through the peas and eat peas, and then he'll move on and have a cucumber or two.
Still think your dad is the reason why he eats the peas,
It might be.
just to feed him the empty husk.
Yep, Dad would pop open the pea pods, eat the peas raw. Can't even speak. And then Duke would get the shells, and so that might be what put him onto peas. So early this morning, Troy and I had a little garden therapy. We came out and we trimmed up these tomatoes. There's the bucket of trimmings, and essentially we just did 2 cattle panels worth. There were quite a few bushy stalks on the bottom of a lot of these tomatoes that we took off, and then we gently connected them to the cattle panel here so that they'll start growing up. But the tomatoes look pretty good. Speaking of weather, we got a bunch of rain and a downpour a couple different occasions up here. One was over an inch, and then another one was at least half an inch. And then we have our watering system. So they're getting plenty of water. And again, like I said, I want to say that Thursday and Friday were in the maybe low 70s. And then yesterday was 87. And today, what did it hit? Did it hit 90?
I saw 90.
Okay. So these guys are a little stressed, and one of the things that you see on stressed tomatoes is leaf curl, and that's what's baffling about leaf curl is it could mean too much water. It could mean not enough water. It could mean it's too hot. It could mean it's too cold. So what do? You wait it out. And not all of them have it. I mean, there's a couple of them that look a little more stressed than others. But again, these guys just had back-to-back 90-degree days after multiple, low 70s days.
And in fairness, this morning when we were out here, they did not look like this.
No.
They were very healthy looking.
Yes.
And I do believe it's because it's just so.
Yeah. These guys have been, the sun pretty much just left this part of the garden. So they've been pounded on with heat and sun. So they look a little stressed out. But with the way our season started with the tomatoes and losing virtually all of them, and then kind of hodgepodging together some starts that my sister had and some that I got at a local greenhouse, Sherwood Florist, Pine River, Minnesota. They did not pay me to say that. And then picked up some at a hardware store down in the cities for super cheap. That's these guys, which they look taxed, but they're actually starting to grow. See, you can tell that looks way healthier and happier than that guy, but you can see the new growth on that guy too. So these are all going to be fine. They're just not quite as impressive as, say, this guy or this guy. They'll come. It'll happen. Like we were talking the other night, anything can happen. You can only control so much, and even then, there's certain things that are still going to be out of your control, and the weather is the biggest one of those things. So here we've got some blossoms. Up until 2 weeks ago, I was picking off any blooms that I was seeing just so that the plant would put more energy into growing up and bushing out. Well, now it's time to let them do their thing, and we want them to go ahead and bloom and put on fruit. Up here, we have cucumbers. So on the far left, we have English long, and then we have green light, one right there, and one right there. The green light are kind of like the ones you get in the grocery store or at the big box clubs, where they're, 4 or 5 inches long. That's, whatever, just look at my dirty hand. And probably, 1.5 inches, 2 inches across. and the skin is really smooth. So if you get out and you pick them when they're about that size, they're fantastic. Just crunch on.
Yeah, those are the little snack ones that you get like 6 or 8 of them in a little styrofoam
Yep,
tray at the grocery store.
exactly. And pay what, $4.99 for them?
That costs us how much for those seeds?
Yeah. And then we've got Summer Dance over here at the end, which is an English long also. We need to get this last piece of cattle panel up for those, but we've got time on that because, as you can see, they're not super tall just yet. Oh, I'm still on the fence and ripping my clothing. So over here, we decided we just didn't seem to have enough dirt left for things like set onions and such. So we got a little nasturtium there.
Yeah, because our garden wasn't big enough.
It wasn't big enough. I needed more. These little guys here are zinnias. We collected the seeds from the blooms that we had in last year's garden, and Troy just kind of tossed them in there. Yes. This is a cucumber also. These guys over here are more pickling type of cucumbers. And I'm going to put a tomato cage up over here for each one of these. But we have 3 different hills of 3 different pickling style cucumbers. Quarantine or quarantine. And more zinnias. And when we get over here, we have a gherkin variety. So yeah, then I got some more dill, because if you got cucumbers, you got to grow dill by it, right? It doesn't look too good, but we'll see how they do. And then we have set onions here coming up. Some red, and some white, and some yellow. So when I said we harvested zinnia...
Is that what this is? I don't think there's a zinnias. Look at that. Are these,
Oh, those are morning glory. Oh my.
Yeah, okay, so there's some more morning
Yeah,
glory.
there's some more. If you do
It's
this
about
right,
80% shaved.
if you
for
do this
chaff.
right, you may never have to buy seeds again, which is
Kind of the point.
kind of the point. So yeah, that's what we got in your farm garden tour for today. We'll be back up next weekend, and what are you thinking? What's the garden task for next weekend going to be? Probably tie up the tomatoes if they need.
Our order is going to be here from Drip Depot, so we'll probably do your water for your Morning Glory kettle panels. Okay. And any other little button up we need to do here, and then really weed maintain. So maybe fishing.
Maybe fishing.
Oh.
That doesn't sound too bad. I'm going to show you the Morning Glory arch. So we expanded that a little this year. I say we. I wanted to. Troy kind of did it for me, helped me do it for me. Is that fair?
That's fair. Because you did assist with the assembly. So
we have 4 cattle panels here. I've got Morning Glories planted on the outside. Those are coming up pretty nicely. My thought is to put some sunflowers on the outside and maybe some other stuff to kind of pretty this up, and then just kind of tidy the weeds over there and there. This is all visible from my mom's kitchen window. So, yeah.
We're probably going to turn that into an entrance to the...
Yep, it's probably going to be another entrance to the garden. So, thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a week. Hope to see you then. Until then, take care.